Today, I'm in Auschwitz in Poland. This isn't a place you come for entertainment, views or adventure. It's a place of memory where over 1 million innocent people were murdered simply for who they were. As I walk through this camp, I want to show you with honesty and respect. Not to shock, but to remember. Because these stories of what happened here should never be forgotten. Oh wow, it is -5 here in Poland. We're just walking down the street to go and find the bus that picks us up to take us to Auschwitz. I've got to find an ATM first because I purchased the ticket to get picked up, the return ticket on the bus, but I also picked queue jumping so that I don't, when I get there, I'm not waiting in the queue because the queues are meant to be crazy. So the fella said an extra 150 PLN, whatever their currency is. It works out at an extra £30. So we're going to pay that. We're going to pay 30 quid to jump the queue and get straight in. Because it is -6 at the moment and it is frozen. Oh, found a friend back for Sunday there. Happy days. Let's get out here. There's some cash out. Cash secured. Now find this bus because my ears are frozen. Oh. As I said, it's -6. So if you're coming to visit this in Poland, this camp, then I recommend you doing it in the summer. Don't come in the winter, man. It is Baltic. Look at the ice on the floor. Very cold. Finally made it outside Auschwitz. How busy it is. This is all the bus tours that's turning up. My bus is over here, number 25. My ticket is not till 8 o'clock, so I've just got to kick around. It's 7:30. And there's some people getting in now. But it's crazy cold. I've not wore the correct clothing. I should have wore a bigger jacket. I've got hand warmers and sole warmers in my trainers, so they're keeping me warm at the minute. But other than that, it is still cold. I'm going to head back to the bus and sit on the bus actually, while I wait till my turn, 8 o'clock. I'm just been handed a set of headphones and a mic receiver. And we're going to listen to this fella telling us everything about the camp. But first, we're walking through the tunnel, which you can hear are saying people's names. That is all the prisoners that died in this camp. They're just constantly repeating everyone over the tannoy that perished in this camp. I'm going to fall battery touch so that I can record and explore it a wee bit more. See the thing as well, we're all wrapped up with gloves, scarves, hats, and these people used to go through this temperature with just thin, jammy kind of like outfits. And I'm not going to complain about the cold again. because these people must have been through 10 times, maybe 100 times worse. Just even walking into the grounds is just even... I don't even know what words to use, to be fair. So he's telling us on the earphones that we're going to the oldest part of the camp, and some parts we're not allowed to take pictures or videos. And also he's saying please don't take selfies or look happy taking pictures, and don't graffiti on the walls. He's just telling us on the earphones that how the Germans invaded Poland. They took over this camp and used it to store Polish, Jews and other nationalities. So these electric fences were electrified with 340 volts, he's saying, but I'm pretty sure I read on it, it said 720 volts. But so what they did is when the workers went out twice a day to do their jobs, they were all lined up again, and then they were all counted to make sure that all the prisoners returned back to the camp. I'm going to just boost away for this guy. Yeah, I'm just going to go and do my own thing. He's all the way down that way. Yeah, so look at all these barracks, all these buildings that you used to store the prisoners in. They used to store up to 1,500 people in one building, I'm sure it was. He just said there, or was it 1,000? I can't remember. But aye, he used to say he used to keep all these prisoners in these blocks. And see these things here? These are sniper towers. This is where you'll see these around the camp, where snipers used to be on patrol 24 hours a day. This is the electric fence as well, all the original parts. So 720 volts went through these. Prisoners actually got to the stage that they were fed up, they were just finished. They actually ran into these cables so they could get out of this camp one way or another. That's the thing. Look at this. And I don't know if you've watched the film Schindler's List, but see these pathways where the prisoners went up and down? The pathways were made of stolen gravestones. So they would use gravestones as the pathway up these kind of alleys. I'm not even sure if you're allowed to even go in here, but I'm on my own. I've left the crowd. I'm going to do my own thing. But yeah, the base camp 1, as I said earlier, is the oldest camp in Auschwitz. Yeah, so this camp was open for all different nationalities, Polish, Germans. Look at all the furnaces down there. It's quite cool seeing these buildings. I'm breaking up on the earphones because I'm not far away from the guys. Yeah, to see these buildings still standing. But keep in mind as well, guys, see Auschwitz and obviously the war, it wasn't that long ago. It was only 80 years ago, 85 years ago, 1940. So it wasn't even that long ago that this happened, where these Jews were executed. I'm just trying to picture everyone kind of walking around here. I can't look in the windows. These windows are all blacked out. Oh, you can get in these buildings. Let's get in these ones. From blocks 1 to 10 served as a women's camp where they are separated from the men by a high wall. Almost 17,000 female prisoners were placed here. Germany and German-occupied countries. Over the course of about 4 months, several thousand women imprisoned in this camp died in the gas chambers, as well as from starvation, disease, catastrophic sanitary conditions, exhausting labour. In 1942, the remaining prisoners were transferred to Auschwitz II, where the main camp for women was established. Let's go in this block 4 and see what block 4's got to offer. Oh. Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So this is just a kind of museum of pictures. Or how it used to look back in the day. This is where all the prisoners came from, different parts of Europe. It was the largest Nazi German concentration camp, and since 1942 almost a mass extermination centre for the Jews. So 1.3 million people were here, 1.1 million Jews, 140,000 Poles, 23,000 Romans, 15,000 Soviets, 25,000 prisoners from other ethnic groups, and then 1.1 million people. These died in the Auschwitz II gas chambers. Glasses from everyone. Everyone's glasses. This is kind of what was made. The bed sheets. Look how thin it is. Because, oh, for God's sakes. Right, this is all the prosthetic legs, prosthetic arms, all different kind of stuff. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually giving me chills. That is sad. Very sad. Yeah, so when the prisoners come into the camp, they were all lined up, and anyone who had deformities or anything like that, they would take obviously their prosthetic legs, limbs, whatever it is, and then they would just execute them because they couldn't work. Keep in mind, that looks like a lot of shoes. Looks like thousands, millions of shoes, but it's 80,000. And as I said, keep in mind how many prisoners were actually here. 1.1 million Jews. It's not including the other nationalities. I see the shoes as well. There's like kids' shoes, baby shoes. Heartbreaking. And if that's not heart-wrenching, what is? Next bit is their belongings, their bags, their baskets. All the prisoners were made to write their name and their number on the bags, so that they thought they could come back and collect their belongings when they were released. Unknown to them, they would never see their belongings again. These bags, everyone who owned these bags was straight to the gas chambers. Keep in mind as well, this camp, everything is all blocked off. You can't really get to see much. They only let you see what they want you to see. So I recommend if you are coming, try and get an early ticket. Try and get the 7:30 ticket. And in the summer, so that it's not frozen. But yeah, it's really, really busy. There is loads and loads of people here. I'm trying to dodge the groups, but I'm dodging one group and then I'm catching up with another group. So I'm constantly been in with a group. So we're going into block 8 now. Keeping in mind, 1 to 10 was the women camps. So all them bags and prosthetic legs and stuff like that were all belonging to women. Block 8, nothing exciting. Just kind of what they used to wear. And some musical instruments. But let's get to block 9. There's no one seems to be in here. What is this? This is letters. This is letters from prisoners, I think. This is where I should have stuck with the tour. But it's far too busy, them tours. You'll be here forever. Look at the original bricks. Oh, there's a glass. I thought it was glass here. I just walked. Oh my god, on camera. I just walked in. It doesn't even look like glass. I thought I was going to try and touch one of the bricks. What a plonker. Remember I was telling you it was that cold? Look at this, this is one of the prisoners. It was terribly cold. I remember this because under my striped uniform I had to cut a vest for myself out of a cement sack. The German supervisor saw it and beat me savagely. This is what he done it with. So to try and stay warm, we were using this as a vest, and they get caught and they get beat up. This is the toilets. Mental. It's crazy. Don't know if you can see him now. My imagination was occupied with the whole range of torments that I knew were used to take care of prisoners. 25 lashes on the bare buttocks, being hung by the hands, tied by the back, starving in the windowless cell, sports in the yard. That was what I feared the most. This is where they get beat. Look at that. So they stood there and then they bent over there and then they used to get lashed with that cane. The worst thing that was a prisoner was always lonely in that crowd. The faces changed so rapidly, people died so rapidly, there was no way to pick out one face and get to know it. This is the prisoners, by the way. They shaved all their heads as well because they wanted to use the human hair to make uniforms, German uniforms. Keeping in mind, guys, this isn't even the camp that was the worst camp. Camp 2, Auschwitz 2, is the place that's where most of the extermination's taking place, with the gas chambers and stuff. They were still killing people here. But, oh, this is a bit. Block 10, this is probably the worst building in this camp, where an actual monster used to work. His name was Professor Dr. Karl Klauberg, right? In this block from 1943 April to 1944 May, the German gynecologist conducted criminal sterilisations experiments. 2 rooms on the upper floor of the blocks continuously housed several hundred female prisoners, mostly Jewish, who were used in experiments. Some of them died during the experiments, whilst others were put to death. Those who survived were left with permanent injuries. Other SS doctors also conducted experiments on women in this block. So what he did to people, he used to inject things into the women's eyes to see if he could change the colour of people's eyes. Also, he used to get twins. If a twin died, he used to be obsessed with twins. I'm sure that's the doctor who was obsessed with twins. And if a twin died, then he would kill the other twin so that he could examine the both of them and see what it... Oh, it's crazy. And he used to sterilise women, just injecting them with stuff into their abdomen to stop pregnancies and stuff like that. It's crazy to even think the stuff that monster did. Oh, right, we move on, because I'm feeling a wee bit choked up with that one. Right, we're moving into the place, the death wall. This is the death wall. This is where thousands and thousands of people were shot dead by firing squad. This is also, they used to hang people here. There's bits missing from this, but this used to be where they used to hang people. But this is the death wall. Could you imagine? This wall has taken so many people. Just thinking back, there's men, women, children have stood there, and the Nazis or the capos killed them. So we feel. Right, we're going into Block 11. It is also known as Death Block. Had several functions. The most important, which was the central camp jail, where the SS placed male and female prisoners, all part of the KL Auschwitz, who were suspected by the camp Gestapo of involvement of resistance, escape attempts, and maintaining contact with the outside world. Holes from the outside of the camp are also imprisoned here, among other things, providing aid to prisoners. In a punishment cell located in the basement known as the bunker, the SS also held prisoners accused of breaking the camp regulations in 1941. Those sentenced to death by starvation were also confined here. So this is where they starved the prisoners down in the basements. Oh, it looks like a jail, it looks like a prison. Still so outdated. This is where the SS officers who were on duty in this room often executed in the sentence of the Gestapo summary court. So you came here to find out your fate. This room is where the summary sessions of the Gestapo court were held. The most frequent sentence was to death, penalty by shooting at the death wall. So you would come in here and you would have got this little courtroom. You would go into the courtroom, you stand up, they would tell you what you're charged with, then straight to the wall. Many corpses of prisoners who were murdered and who died during the last days of the operation of the camp were found in the basement on the ground floor of the barracks 11 by Soviet soldiers. After the liberation of the camp, this is where they kind of used to lay and sleep. So if you worked for the Nazis, this is the room, this is what your room would look like. This is probably the capo's rooms. This is what they would look like. A wee bit more better than the prisoners' rooms. So they would bring the women in here, strip them, then they would take them out 2 at a time, then shoot them dead. This is the room where the men who was sentenced to be shot at the death were stripped in this room. It happened that the death penalty was also executed here. So they would come in here, get stripped, then led out here to that wall and executed. That is the post office there. Done a wee bit of research online, and that is the post office. So, anyone wanted to send any of the prisoners kind of letters, packages, stuff like that, that they probably, let's be honest, probably didn't receive. Halt! Stop! Now we go to the main camp, the bit I've been looking forward to, Auschwitz 2, where 1.1 million, 1.1 million people were executed by gas chamber, starvation, shot, death by hanging. That's another thing as well that doctor did. See that doctor that I was telling you about in Block 10? They used to put prisoners in freezing cold water till they froze to death, then try to bring them back to life with different procedures, different ways to try and see if they can bring the prisoner back to life, because the Nazis were losing too many soldiers by boats sinking in the water, in the sea. So they said try and find a way to bring back prisoners so that the soldiers could be brought back the same way. So putting somebody through that extreme torture so they could find a way of bringing you back so they could help the war. It's inhumane, to be fair. It's not right. I'm going to get a picture now at this gate because there's not a soul here. I'm going to get, because more groups coming over, so we're going to get a picture of that now. So 2 of the German commandos were hanged here for their crimes to this camp. This is where they hanged. Right. Need to be quiet when I get here, guys. This is the gas chamber. This is the crematorium and the gas chamber. Look at this. This is where people are put in and gassed to death. This is where they dropped the gas canisters in. So the Nazis were at the top, and then they dropped the gas canisters through and sealed the doors. Then after they'd done that, they would get the prisoners to carry the dead prisoners through to these furnaces and cremate them. Very sad, very, very sad. So this is where the trains would come through. Along here, then all the prisoners would come off the trains and they'd get put into separate lines. Women and children on a separate line, then men on a separate line. Then doctors from the SS would go through them and see who was fit to work out of the men and stuff. Then they would get put into the camps, and the ones that were deemed not fit enough to work were sent straight to the gas chambers. And that's anybody from having a disability, missing limbs, anything like that, straight to the gas chamber. And that's women and children. Absolute crazy. 75% of people who prisoners get brought into this camp get sent straight to the gas chambers. Over 1.1 million people were gassed to death. It's crazy. On the right hand side here, all the camps, or the barracks have been demolished by the Germans. So they were trying to hide all the evidence when they lost the war. There is some barracks still standing, and on my left there is barracks all still intact. So we'll go and check them out and see what they're like inside and stuff. So if you do attend the second camp, you don't need a ticket or anything like that, or your passport. You just need to walk straight in. It's not like the first camp. First camp was tickets and passports, and then go through scanners and stuff, just like the airport. On the right hand side here, we have the train cart. It isn't very big, but they crammed 150 people, up to 150 people, into this wee cart. And they came from all over parts of Europe in this. So some people were travelling 5 days, 6 days, travelling in that wee cart with no sanitation, no food. They sprayed water in to keep them cool. And there was loads of them. And you know, out of all the carts, a quarter of the carts that turned up, people were dead in them, a quarter of them. So they were all crammed. They were all fighting over kind of air ducts, trying the people that's next to the air ducts so they can get fresh air and stuff. Absolutely. Things they done to these people. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. They'll go where the tourists don't go. All the kind of tour guides are taking everyone over that way. But I'm not going that way, I'm going this way. Forever let this place be a cry of despair and a warning to humanity, where the Nazis murdered about 1.5 million men, women and children, mainly Jews from various countries of Europe. Auschwitz Birkenau, 1940 to 1945. Again, all the tours have all just went that way, so I'm going that way. You know me, I like to be different. Oh. Right, Jewish women and children from Hungary selected and directed by the SS for immediate death in the gas chambers. Visible in the background are the railway ramps of the Crematorium 3. Crematorium 3, the gas chamber here. Several 100,000 Jews, men, women and children were gassed and burned. The bodies of prisoners who perished in the camp were also burned here. Crematorium 3, the gas chamber, functioned from June 1943 to November 1944, when the camp authorities ordered demolition of the furnaces in the buildings as part of the plan to erase the evidence of their crimes. So this was a crematorium. This is one of the crematoriums. This was Crematorium 3. This was one of the places that they burnt all the bodies. That is very sad, knowing what is going on in them buildings. You can see a part of the chimney. In memory of the men and women and children who fell victim to the Nazis and the genocide, here lies the ashes. May their souls rest in peace. So this is where their ashes lie. Maybe in here, I'm not sure. Oh. Very emotional, to be fair. You'd need a heart of stone. Yeah, it's lump in my throat. It's not a great place to come and be happy, to be fair, is it? knowing that over 1.1 million people perished here. Look guys, there is not a soul near me. I'm the only person that's came over here. We're going over to check this out. I find it very, very strange as well that you've just got your free rein to walk these grounds. Look at the sniper tower. The Nazi soldiers used to live in there, take turns, take shifts, are watching the grounds so that no prisoners escaped. In grounds like this as well, see when workers went out and when they come back for work, they would be made to stand in single file and then there'd be a roll call. The soldiers would shout the prisoner's name, and if the prisoner's name wasn't there, then other prisoners would get punished for it. So I think if one prisoner was missing, then 300 prisoners would be either punished by starvation, all different kind of punishments, or straight to the gas chamber, death. So that's how they kept the prisoners in check. Because if one prisoner done wrong, then other prisoners get punished. While I'm still on that as well, there was a woman that worked in the ammunition factory and they used to steal the gunpowder. They used to smuggle it out in handkerchiefs or napkins, and they got enough to make bombs. And these girls all set a plan to blow up the furnaces, blow up the gas chambers, overpower the guards. They managed to do it. I think they managed to kill a few guards and blow up one of the gas and furnaces. I'm pretty sure it might have been that one we were looking at, gas chamber 3. That was the one that the ladies managed to overpower and blow up. But for them girls, all the girls got executed. They rounded everybody up. Because the girls done that, they killed another 300 prisoners as well as them. They hung them girls, I think it was. They publicly hung them girls for their crimes. There was also another same idea. They tried to overpower the guards on one of the other gas chambers, but they only managed to kill one Nazi guard, and they get defeated by the Nazis, and the Nazis took their revenge by killing all them as well. So I'm just going round this sanitation plant. I'm pretty sure you can get inside these things. Let me check this building here first. Oh, you can't see in there. It's too dirty. Nope, can't see in. Let's see if we can get in these sanitations. Oh. Look at this. Raw footage. You ain't going to see this on your wee tour guides. You ain't going to see this. Look at that. Inside the sanitary tunnel, tubes or whatever they're called. That's crazy. So we'll go over. Oh, security's coming. I'm not sure we can go over this way, but we'll see in a wee second, because the security car's just coming straight towards me. Because this is where the other gas chamber is. that was destroyed over here that not everyone gets to see, and that is going to be the case for me, I think, because they're coming towards me. Hopefully they just go right past me. This is another place they put all the ashes and stuff in here. They just gave me a wave. These barracks, see the chimney heads, there's hundreds and hundreds of them. I think there's over 300 knocked down barracks over here. All you can see is the chimney heads in the distance. It goes on and on and on and on and on. You can't see it in the camera, but with the eye, the human eye, it goes on as far as my eye can see. That is crazy. Right, here we go in here. The gate's open, so the security guy drove past me. He gave me a wave. That means go ahead, William. Fill your boots. Again, look, there's more barracks here. Again, you can actually go inside these barracks. There's no signs. There's no warning signs telling me not to step foot in here. So that is me walking in the barracks of where the prisoners would have lived. The workers' barrack, this would have been. Because that was the workers' unit, I'm pretty sure. But listen, this isn't a history channel. I didn't stick to history in school. I'm just winging it. I'm just telling you what I think I know. And if I've said anything wrong, feel free, hit me up in the comments, tell me. I'll educate myself. I'll gladly say fair play. I was wrong. Thanks for... Oh, my nose. Thanks for educating me. This is where they took all the belongings from the prisoners when they turned up, from their suitcases to their clothes to their property as well. I don't know if you've seen Schindler's List, because prisoners used to turn up with a suitcase full of like their clothes, their belongings, sometimes materials, i.e. jewellery, gold, silver, things like that. So these would be seized, and then they would come to this, the sorting bit. This building was brought into operation at the end of 1943. Newly arrived prisoners designated by the SSA Force for Labour and the concentration camps were registered and disinfected here. For now, they would be known as only by a prisoner number, which was tattooed on their forearms. Here they were also issued by a striped prisoner uniform and had all their body hair removed. The SS also made additional selections here, sending pregnant women to be murdered in the gas chambers. The poor state of hygiene in these concentration camps and the horde of insects brought illnesses, epidemics, which threatened the efficient function of the camp and the health of the SS who ran it. The building was therefore used for a periodic campaigns to delouse the prisoners of their clothing. So, yeah, that's what that building here was for. But now I don't know if it has been used or anything. Oh, there's people in there cleaning it and stuff. So you can see it's been updated. They're going to open it up as a museum, because look at the floor. It's all glassed off, like a see-through glass floor. So that obviously when they open it as a museum, you're getting to see what it used to be like back in the day. So in the future, that will be a museum. You will be able to come over here and see it. Right, this is the gas chamber. 4 or 5, I think it's 4, where nobody comes to visit. This is a place. An open gate is a welcome on in, William. Come and visit. Warning, no entry. Crematorium 5 and gas chamber. Thousands of Jews, men and women and children were murdered with gas and burning here. The bodies of the prisoners who perished in the camp were also burned here. The mass extermination facilities in this building operated intermittently from March 1943 to 7th October 1944. The building was destroyed during the Sonkomono revolt. Whatever that is. This was the gas chamber. They used to burn people here as well. October 7th October 1944. The prisoners of Sonkomono, a special work unit of Jewish prisoners whose task was to remove the victims' bodies from the gas chamber and burnt them in the crematoria, organised the only armed revolt that took place at Auschwitz. As a result, Crematorium 5 was a gas chamber was destroyed. 450 heroic prisoners were murdered by SS men during the revolt in retaliation for organising it. That's what I told you earlier. I thought it was the number 3 one. It's this one. It was number 5. This is where the women that made the bombs and stuff, and they overpowered the guards and they blew it up. So 450 of them get executed for doing that. I thought that was number 3, but here you are, it was number 5. And that is the remains of it. And see, to be fair, I don't know about you guys, but see if I was in that camp and I had to take prisoners, if I was a prisoner myself and I had to take prisoners to their death, knowing they were getting gassed, then I had to burn their bodies, then I had to dispose of the bodies, knowing when is my turn, when am I going to be up? Would you try and revolt? Would you try and do something to save people? Would you try and... I think I would. I think I would be one of them people. I'd be one of the ones that tried my best to help others. Because, listen, you've been working in there, you know that you're burning bodies left, right and centre, thousands a day. You know that you're going to be soon, your number's up. So you may as well go with a bang and take them fuckers with you. That's what I would do anyway. I would try my best. So fair play to them 450 heroic prisoners that tried their best to at least do their part. See, this is the prisoners here. This is the prisoners that had to work and help kill their fellow prisoners. This is like the pictures of it. These are photographs that only remain pictures of Auschwitz actually have been taken clandestinely by prisoners. So these photos actually took by the prisoners. Look at this. That is the workers burning the bodies. And again, that must be heartbreaking, because they probably knew. The security's watching me right now. There's 2 security just standing just over there, just watching me. So the Jewish and these pictures, right, were taken by the prisoners. One shows the Jewish women being driven naked to a gas chamber of the Crematorium 4, where they were to be murdered, and the other two to be shown bodies of the people who have been gassed during being burned in the open air next to Crematorium 4. These photos were taken by Alex, a Greek Jew, in the summer of 1944. I'm not going to lie, honestly, man, This was the building, the Crematorium 4 building, which contained gas chambers, a furnace for burning bodies. Tens of thousands of Jews were murdered here by the Zyklon B, then incinerated. Men, women and children, their bodies were burned along with corpses of prisoners of various nationalities who died in the concentration camp. The bodies of Roma and Sinti who were murdered in the gas chambers. as well as those who died in the camp, were also burned here. The mass facilities in this building operated intermittently from April 1943 to January 1945. As part of the campaign to erase evidence of the crimes, the SS blew up these buildings on 26th of January 1945. And see in the photographs, you can actually see the exact spot that picture was taken. It's right there. It's right there. You can actually see in the photograph the fence behind it. The fence still lies there. So in this bit of land, thousands and thousands were burnt to death. And on that here it says, "To the memory of the men, women and children who fell victim to the Nazis' genocide, here lies their ashes. May their souls rest in peace." This is the part here, that when they were burning, they were gassing that many bodies, the furnaces couldn't handle it. So the SS said to them, take them outside, burn them on the grass. Heartbreaking. This would be the entrance to the gas chamber. This is where the prisoners would have walked down to their death. They would have walked in here, through here, thought they were going for showers because the SS guards or capos gave them some soap, and they went into these gas chambers and there was fake showers on the roof, and they thought they were just going to get a shower, a quick clean up, not knowing the doors were going to get locked behind them and they were going to get executed with gas. Then after they've been gassed, I'm going to go over this fence. I know I'm not meant to. They would go in here, get gassed, go through here. This was the crematorium at the back. Their bodies, the prisoners that worked for the SS would take the dead bodies all piled up, hundreds of them all piled up. They would come in, put them in the furnaces, then the furnaces would cremate them, and then the prisoners would go and scatter the ashes. And they were doing that many. They were doing that many bodies. As I said, the crematorium, they couldn't keep up. The furnaces were burning 24 hours a day trying to burn the bodies, but they just couldn't keep up. That's why they used the grounds to burn the bodies. So this was the main furnace and crematorium in Auschwitz too. This is the kind of touristy part where all the tourists come to check it out. I just heard that lady saying the temperature used to drop to minus 27 back in the day. 27. It's only minus 3 at the moment, I think, and minus 4. And my nose is running, my ears are sore, my feet are sore, my fingers are sore. I've got gloves and stuff. I've got heat pads in my gloves, and I am Baltic. My nose is frozen. How do you think these prisoners, how do you think they put up with that? Oh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't imagine. I just couldn't imagine me personally standing here with jammies on, with just one layer of clothes, with a pair of clogs on, or a pair of really thin footwear. It must have been horrific. No wonder people were running in to the electric wires to execute themselves. Honestly, no wonder they were trying to bring themselves to an end to get over the torment. Keep in mind as well, guys, see the work camps, see the camps that they had the people doing, the prisoners doing. Do you know that camp was designed for prisoners only to be alive for 4 months? There was a regime, right? They designed the regime that the prisoners were working and they were only getting fed 1,000 calories per day. So their body was burning more calories. These guys were working like stupid amount of hours per day. And the person that designed the camp and designed the workforce was the prisoners wouldn't be capable of living over 3 to 4 months, so they would die of starvation or exhaustion. That's the whole idea. Was they done it so that they could work these people into death. So they were getting the benefit out of them guys working, plus they were getting the benefit of the prisoners dying, essentially. They were monsters, to be fair. They were absolute monsters. They were thinking at every single step. I don't know if you can get in here. No, you can't. It's locked. So this was the prisoners' camps that they've destroyed. That the SS destroyed to hide all the crimes that they did. Just imagine fucking hundreds and hundreds of people living in here. This is what's keeping warm at night. This little fire was keeping all the prisoners warm. There must have been 2 actually, on each side, and it was keeping prisoners warm. I say, minus 27. You would need more than them to keep you warm. That's for sure. Right, now we've got over to the barracks to see inside them, see what their living condition was like. So this is the barracks intact. This is what they would look like. This is the originals. Still in the original condition. I want to look in these windows. Oh, can you see in there? Look at the names on the walls and stuff. That's not open to the public, that one. So that would have been original writing on the walls. Glass, single pane. Oh, look at that. It's somebody's bed. 4 or 5 people used to live on these beds at one time. There was 3 floors. You end up kicking me out of here. So I'm led to believe there was 300 of these on each side, these barracks, but most of them was destroyed. Just think back in 85 years, this place would have been booming with people everywhere. Look at this, the old cart. I'm not sure what they used that for. We are going inside, guys. We have found one that's opened. Right, we're in. Wow. See if I can get. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. This is the beds the prisoners had to sleep in. So it was 5 per layer. 3 layers. You can see how cramped it would have been. This is the furnaces that would keep them warm. So they would fill that up. I'm not sure about the graffiti. I reckon that's been at a later date. Oh. Wow. Sanitary. But this is where they come and get a wash. Well, I say a wash, but I think that might have been the toilet as well. Could you imagine living in here for years? It's frozen in here as well. Them wee furnaces, there's no way they would keep you warm in here. There is no way. It's one of the ones when you think you've seen enough, you've seen the worst. You think you've seen, oh, you couldn't get any worse than that. And then you get into living quarters where they had to spend their life, well, at least a few years of their life. It just, how another human could put humans through this is just beyond me. I don't get it. This is the ladders that they would use to get themselves up and at the top. Again, the loo, where they would go and do the toilet. Look at the floor just made of bricks. Even at that walking about in bare feet on that. Yeah, so I think this is where they come to get washed. And the other one over there to the left, the first one I showed you, that must have been the toilet, and that is the part that they wash their hands and face and other parts, obviously. I had that tour guide there mentioning that each barrack had a capo or a leader of the barrack itself, and they used to command authority by beating, torturing and killing people that lived in here if they didn't abide with their rules. This is another prisoner, keep in mind, this is a prisoner that's in the same boat as you, doing the same, not even a crime, just because you're Jewish and you've stepped up to punish your own kind just so that your life is a wee bit easier. They're just as bad, I reckon. They're just as bad as the Nazis themselves. Oh, this is just the last one, the last barrack that you get to see. Again, the ladders. 800 people lived in here. There you have it. The tour guide just said 800 people were crammed into this. Crazy. They had trauma harnesses. They had pillows. The guide was just saying there, these were riddled with all sort of diseases, bugs, animals. Obviously, they're talking about rats and stuff. And the prisoners were dying with infections they weren't getting treated for. Could you imagine living in there with cockroaches, rats, and then infections, diseases? We don't know how lucky we are at the moment, to be fair. For anybody that thinks their life's in a bad way, or things could be better, just think how these guys were feeling. The torture they had to get through, the pain, not even the torture and the pain, just having their loved ones taken off them, turning up here thinking they're going to a better place, and then they whip your wife, your kids, your husband, your mum, your dad, and then you never see them again. They get taken straight to a gas chamber, killed. I'll tell you something right now, I'll never think my life's bad in any sort of way now. I count my lucky chickens now that we're that fortunate that we weren't born in that generation. And kids these days don't know how lucky they've got it. Sitting in front of a computer all day. Well, kids in here, well, they don't want to think what the kids in here were going through. But that is it. That is the end of Auschwitz 2. So if you're ever thinking of coming to Poland, get yourself to these camps, Auschwitz. Highly recommend. And definitely do the queue jumps. Also, a big thank you to the newest member on the YouTube channel, Kentucky67. Much appreciated. You've been there for the start. You're always commenting, you're always liking, and you're always sharing. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. You will get videos early. Any members to the page will get early access to the videos and uncut scenes that don't make the video. I will put that just for members only, because I've recorded a wee video yesterday and I don't think I'm going to put it on the page, but I'll put it on for the members, for something for them to chuckle over. Thank you for liking, sharing and commenting, everybody. So peace out. Thank you again.